Their insults fell on her like blows. "Shame on you, whore," they shouted. Imagine it. She was married, but not to the man whose arms she'd been in. Suddenly the door burst open. Angry men dragged her and her secret sin into the street. "Adulteress! Adulteress!" The words pierced her like arrows. A gathering crowd gawked at her with scorn. Her life was undone in a moment by her own doing. They were talking about stoning. God's verdict on her case seemed clear. The law says if a man is found laying with a wife of another man, both of them shall die. She was going to die. She was half pushed and half dragged through Jerusalem. She was despised and rejected, as one from whom men hid their faces. Suddenly she was thrust in the face of a young man. Someone behind her said, "Teacher, this woman has been caught in the act of adultery. Now the law of Moses commands us to stone such a woman. So what do you say?" The teacher looked at her, then at her accusers, and bent down. "Why is he writing in the dirt?" He stood back up. She held her breath, eyes on her feet. "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her," the man said. The crowd hushed. Confused, she glanced at him. He was writing in the dirt again. She heard mumbling and disgusted grunts from behind, then shuffling. People were leaving. No one grabbed her. It took some courage to look around. Her accusers were gone. She turned to the teacher. He was standing, staring at her. "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, sin no more." Did you hear what Jesus said? This woman's guilt was real. She committed the crime of adultery. God, through Moses, commanded her death. But God the Son simply said, "Neither do I condemn you." How could he possibly say that? If God violates his own commandment, we have a huge problem. Is God unjust? Absolutely not. God fully intended for this sin of adultery to be punished to the full extent of his law. But she would not bear her punishment. She would go free. This young teacher would be punished for her. Might he have written these words from Isaiah in the dirt? But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him the chastisement that brought us peace, and with his stripes we were healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of all of us. Here in this story, God clearly spoke to us the good news, and he wants us to hear. Every single one of us is that woman. Our sin, the dark lusts, destructive tongues, murderous hatred, corrupting greed, stand exposed before God as clearly as the woman's sins in the temple courtyard. Our shameful guilt is obvious, and our condemnation is justified. And yet from the Son of God come these stunning words, "Neither do I condemn you." Why? Because he has been condemned in our place. Mercy triumphed over judgment, and the same is true for us.